I was recording, but due to some call that I've received, I have to stop the recording. Okay, no problem. Let me start once again. So imagine that you get a question, you get a task to explain yellow color to a blind person. Now you will think that how you gonna explain the yellow color to a blind person, the person who is blind from the birth and never seen any colors. For you, it is kind of a challenging and a different situation. Now the things will come in your mind that either you can express the things on the basis of the emotions, on the basis of experiences. So now probably the majority of the people thinks so that they gonna tell the person, okay, so the yellow is looks like how the sun warmth felt like, how the lemons look like, how mango look like, how the mango felt like. But again, though we are doing it because we have seen the yellow color, but we are explaining it to someone who has never seen anything. And again, the describing yellow color doesn't mean that we have to explain yellow only. It means that how we are communicating to someone who has never seen anything. For them, entire situation is very different. It's a very similar like a person who is deaf and we are telling them how music look like, how music felt like. So this is again a very different perspective. So if I talk about based on experience, commonly the people will share that the yellow is look like a warmth of a sun at a morning time. It's not very harsh like a daytime, but at the morning time very soothing. It's look like a freshness of a lemon, the experiences, and it's like a ripe mango, because we cannot describe we cannot ask them to feel, cannot, because the feeling is the only one thing that we can share, because the same thing that we are feeling they can also feel. I probably say so. So the smell of the lemon would remain same for me, and then the warmth will remain the same, and the ripe mango will remain the same. But eventually, even explaining all these things, I'm afraid that whether we are able to describe yellow color, my answer would be no, because this all things are subjective. Even the two people who have eyes, even if they see the sun at the morning time, they can describe the color of sun in the different. Somebody will say that it look like little oranges, somebody say that it looks like yellow. So even the color of lemon, the people will say different thinking. So it is very hard for us to explain. But having said that, the question here is not only the explaining yellow, but the how we are communicating with someone who has never seen anything. Now coming to this part, we have to describe a lot of things, emotions, feelings, and just give you one more example. If we say that the blue is cool, the red is aggressive, then yellow is optimistic. The yellow look like we are starting something new. The bright yellow color feels that something is positive and something is consistent. The yellow is something that is come in between cool and warmth, that is neutral. That is what we can share. But still, the question again remain the same, that it is going to help the blind person to understand everything. I think there is some other way, other perspective. We can also first of all try to understand how the blind people feel like. Do they know anything about colors? How their life, how their daily routine is there, whether they feel sensations, how they describe, and how they see everything. Is it dark? So that's how it's gonna help us to understand their psychology, their understanding about colors. Is everything things they feel like a dark, then how their touch sensations are, how they assume, how do they make assumptions, will they feel what is circle, what is rectangle. So so we need to do a detailed discussion with them. We need to understand their perspective, their way of style, and after that it would be easier for us to convert those color into uh, some tangible thing so that they can experience it. The same thing we have seen that the blind people are learning reading. Why? How they are doing it? So because they cannot see character, but they have a they have a different language. With the help of that, they can easily see. They can speak. They can listen to our language. They have listened to music. So with the help of that, we can create all these situation and the simulation for them so that they can understand us and the topic that we are going to describe. Now there is another part of it uh, that is it difficult to do so in my uh, perspective. Yeah, it is little bit hard compared to explaining someone with eyes. Sometimes the people who has eyes, if you are explaining them something, they will try to retaliate, but if you are explaining something to someone who has never seen something and there is no possibility that they are going to see that thing in their future, I think it would be way more harder than explaining a normal person. What should we do? Sharing experiences. Oh my god, this is getting deeper. Okay, let me get back and see the more. I'm sorry. So it's the question is not really about color. It's all about communication. It's about how limited language is. We assume words are enough, but the words are simple. They point to experiences. They are not the experiences themselves. When we describe yellow to translating, when we are describing yellow, which means that we are translating photons into poetry. And when we try to explain to someone blind, we are translating sight into touch, warmth, taste, memory. And maybe that is the beauty of human connection. We may never fully understand each other internal words, but we try. We use stories, we use metaphors, we use emotions, and sometimes the efforts is more important than explanation in itself. If someone if ask you today, if someone asks you today, what is yellow? What would you describe, a color or would you describe a feeling? And maybe the question can extend further. How many things in life do you things you understand but you haven't truly felt? Maybe the yellow is not just a color. Maybe the yellow is a hope. Yellow is a warmth. Maybe yellow is possibility. And maybe the real question is not how to explain yellow to a blind person, but how to understand each other beyond what we can see. I think this is way more powerful thoughts that I have shared with you, and and color is a private experience, as I already said. To someone blind from the birth, yellow is not just invisible; it's outside of their framework of perception, and this forces us to confront a bigger philosophical truth. Some experiences cannot be transferred, they can only be approximated. Some experiences cannot be transferred, they can only be approximated. Just like you cannot fully explain the music to someone who has never heard sound, or explain love to someone who has never felt attachment. You can describe the effect, you can describe the emotion, but the direct experience remain unreachable. So I hope that the last point is, I'm focusing one more time. You can describe the effects, you can describe the emotion, but the direct experience remain unreachable. So perhaps explaining yellow is not about accuracy, it's all about empathy. It's about building a bridge using a shared human sensations. Well, if you have any thoughts, any suggestion to this story, please write down on comments, and I love to read your post. If you have any topic that is a different and difficult, you can please reach out to me, or and we can have a debate on that. That is how I am me, and everyone who is listening to this podcast, even not listening, because I have never made this podcast for everyone. I just made it for my self improvement and what I am doing here. So, well, having said that, bye bye. Take care.